Yeah, we're live now. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Hope we had a very good day today. Um, they are all welcome to another interesting um, session, and we promise you that it's going to be a very enlightening and educative session. So you're welcome. If you're just joining, quickly share the link and let others know about this all important session that we're having right now. So quickly share the link. Yes, I'm waiting for you to do that. Share the link everywhere, here on Facebook, on WhatsApp, Instagram, everywhere. Let people know about this session, right? Okay, I'm giving you a minute to do that. A minute to do that. If you're just joining, you're welcome to a very important session today. And we promise you that it's going to be a very wonderful time. And you're not going to regret spending your time here. So while we wait for you to share the link and invite your friends, remind them, some of them may have forgotten. So remind them that we are talking about a very important topic today. Yes. If you know what the topic of today is, you can just type it in the comment section. What the topic of today is. Let's delve into today's topic. So invite your friends, invite your friends. So moving on. Today we are going to be talking about a very important topic. But before I proceed, I'd like to let you know that I'm not here alone. I have my wonderful co-anchor in the person of Sister Unique Blessing. Yes, she's. Please, Unique, if you're there, let's see you. And we also have in the house our very own Sir Michael Oyaga. You're welcome, sir. Yes.
How are you doing?
Welcome, sir. Very well, thank you. Okay, so on to the topic, which is the art of proper and profitable CV writing. And with us, we have a wonderful personality, and he is Chima Onunwa. So if you have not invited your friend, please do that now. Like, do that now. Share the link and let them know. Disturb them. Now is the time to disturb. Okay? So share the link. We're talking about the art of proper and profitable CV writing. And we'll be with us to dissect that topic is Mr. Chima Onunwa. And he is a strategic HR practitioner who is passionate about transforming the mindset of people regarding their jobs, their careers, and then people management, and being a reliable problem solver over the years for about 3 years now, providing HR business partnering support to organizations. You can trust that he's going to do justice to this topic. So, and I would want him to, go in, but let me let you know that while you invite your friends, don't just invite people who you feel like they are seeking or they're out there in the labor market, they're looking for jobs. Invite everybody, but the businessman, everybody who is pursuing a career, who is in the business line, deserves to know about CV writing. I mean, who does not need to have a proper CV? Okay? And not just a proper CV, a profitable one at that. So invite everyone. Do not limit your sharing. Share to everybody and let's delve in. So, Mr. Chima Onunwa, over to you and give us the blessings for tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Joy. Thank
Good
you for
evening.
having me. Good evening, Barrister Michael Yaga. It's always a pleasure. Good evening, Blessing. And thank you, Watchman Yoga Lord Forum, for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. I just want to be sure if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, very well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, rightly, I'm just going to go into the presentation and run us through it to have enough time for questions and answers, right? Because I think that those are very key as well. So today I'll be speaking on the art of proper and profitable CV writing. First, we need to know that when it comes to applications, when you want to apply for, um, say, jobs, scholarships, um, projects, anything that will require you submitting a resume or a CV, you need to have the end goal in mind. You need to know what you want to achieve. So, if you have that end goal in mind, you won't be, should I say, carefree about how you go about submitting your application or how your CV would look like. So, I'm going to first, you are going to look at what is a resume or a CV. So, like I said, a CV or a resume is the most important factor in the job hunting or application process. So, it's the most important factor because it is the tool that opens the door for the success of that application or you getting that approval or the yes that you are looking for. So it is the most important factor. It's not how well you interview, it's not the suit or how well you appear during the interview. It's the resume. That is what gives you the opportunity to even sit on that interview. So that's it's the most important factor in the application process. And the term resume comes from a French word. It means to summarize. To summarize. Yes, so because one, it's a document, and trust me, um, recruiters or people who review CVs, they don't like to look at wordy CVs because I think a research has shown that recruiters or HR practitioners they spend less than 2 minutes on a CV. So when your CV is too wordy, it could throw them off and they won't bother looking into it in detail. So it's for you to summarize your career profile or your career history. So it shouldn't be so wordy. It should be detailed, it should be concise, but it shouldn't be wordy. So resumes or CVs are accompanied by cover letters. So yes, so while submitting applications now, let's say for a job, you should ensure that there is a brief write-up. That's what we call a cover letter on the body of your application, not just on the body of the mail. That will speak or give more details to your experience, your skills, and then why you are applying for that role. So those detailed points that you cannot put on your resume. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to throw them into the application. You have them on the body of your application, the body of the email. So, like I've said before, employers use CVs or resume to have a deeper understanding of your skills, your strengths, and your experience. So that's why they are asking you to submit that. They want to see how you match, how your profile match the vacancy they are recruiting for. So your resume is the first point of contact with the employer and sets the tone for subsequent steps such as the first interview, second interview if applicable, pre-screening and onboarding. No, like I said, the third point that your employers they try to use your resume or your CV to see if you match the profile they are looking for. Take for example, if I'm looking to recruit for an account officer, if I work in a real estate firm, I'm looking to recruit or hire an account officer. I put out my advert, I get a lot of applications, say 50 applications for the role of the account officer, real estate firm, and I'm going through them. You would agree with me that I would want to consider or invite candidates who from their work history or work experience have previously worked in a real estate firm. I want to agree. I want to assume that you are agree with me on that because one, I'm a real estate firm and I'm looking for an accounts officer. So if I see candidates who have previously worked in a real estate firm, I want to consider them first or call them for interviews first because one, they fit the profile and they won't need so much of hand holding when if they eventually join the organization. So that's why we say it gets the CV gives the employer or the recruiter an overview of your profile and how you suit that role they are recruiting for. So now I'm going to run us through the relevant sections to include on a resume or on a CV. So speaking from experience, there are a lot of sections that people list out on their CVs that are not necessary. That are not necessary. So when we speak to now first we have the personal detail. This detail now, this part, this section, it talks about your full name, your address, your phone number, your email address. Some people include their professional website or social media links. Say you're a graphic designer and then you have a portfolio where you save or you store your works. So it's important to include the link to your portfolio on your resume. If you are a photographer, a video creator, a content creator, and there is a link to you have a drive where you store your works, your videos or your content or your pictures. So it's also important to put that link on your resume. So when the recruiter wants to go through it, they can click on that link to see what you have done, to see if it's good enough and if you are qualified to be invited for an interview. The second section is also the again, let me just maintain before I go to the second section. When it comes to um, email address, it's advisable to have a professional email address. Um, so my name is Chima Onunwa. So the ideal thing, or professionally speaking, it would be ideal to have an email address that says chimaonunwa@gmail.com or Chima. But if a lot of people are already using Chima Onunwa, you can say Chima Onunwa 1996, Chima Onunwa 19, Chima Onunwa 61 at gmail.com. But from experience and from CVs I've seen in the past, you see some email address that are not professional. Say for example, somebody is answering handsome obi at gmail.com or beautiful princess at yahoo.com or if your stylish queen at yahoo.com. I've seen those kind of email addresses before. So it's advisable to always ensure that your email address has your name, your first name, middle name, last name. So that keeps it professional and it creates a good impression also to the hiring manager. And again, for address, I do tell people that it's not necessary to be so detailed while stating your address on your CV. Now, it's because one, in terms of security, and then you don't know where your CV will fall to, the hands your CV will fall into. So, like I said, if you are living in Victoria Island, you can just say on your CV your address the field for address. You could just say Victoria Island, Lagos. If you are staying at K2, you could just say K2, Lagos. You don't need to say block 1, room 200, flats 3, beside Iyaneka shop, number 48 street. You don't need to be so detailed because so you don't know where your CV will fall into. So just leave it at K2 Lagos. So when they want to invite you for an interview, they know that okay, this person is coming from K2. They don't so that information of your compound being beside Sister Ineka's shop or is not necessary and they don't need that. So you don't have to be so verbose in your address. So for professional career objective, I say it's a brief statement that outlines your career goals and aspirations and how they align with the position you are applying for. So it's usually located at the beginning of your resume and serves as an introduction to your experience and qualifications. Yeah, so it's also an important section that should be on your resume. It should come immediately after your personal details. So it just speaks to your an overview of your experience, say why you are in this particular profession and what you intend to achieve in, in this profession or what you have achieved in the profession and why you want to join that organization. So that's the message you should try to pass in the career objective section. For relevant work experience, so it's like the section says relevant work experience. So while applying for a job, if you have experience that are unrelated to that role, unless you don't have so much years of experience, you can include it. But it's also very, very important to include the work experience that are tailored or somehow similar to the current role you're applying for. For skills and competencies, you just list out the skills, your areas of competencies in that profession. And they say this section can help to quickly demonstrate your the candidate's suitability for the role and their potential to contribute to the organization. Yeah, so when on your CV, you should tell the recruiter what you can do, your skills, your areas of expertise, so that if, for example, they are looking to recruit, let me use account officer again, who has experience in budgeting and finance, who has the previous experience working with budget, organizations budget. So if you have such experience, it's very important to have it noted on your CV so that when they are looking at it, they will say, okay, this person has done budgeting or this person is stating that one of our core areas of expertise is in budgeting. So, and they know that in this role that we're reporting for, it will require the candidates to be involved in the budget, the organization's budget planning and all that. So that will give you like an edge over any other candidates or other candidates that do not have that experience. So, and for your work experience section, before I move to the next slide, it's important to note if you have achievements under the various organizations you worked in. It's important to highlight those achievements um, under the work experience section. If you did something outstanding, something that uh, you think that the recruiter should see or the employer should know about, is important. It will be very strategic to highlight that under your work experience section. So moving on, we have education. The next is education. So you have to also state your education. Um, Mostly we say if you have your first degree, there is no need stating your primary school education. You could just start with secondary, then your first degree education details. Then if you have a secondary, say a master's, you should also state it. So if you're a fresh graduate, someone who just left school and doesn't have so much of experience. It should also highlight achievements, awards that you were able to obtain during your education. So that's very important and that would be very strategic as well. Okay, sorry. So after education, we have training and certification. So this aspect is also very important because one, it shows the candidate's interest uh, to learning. That if you are certified professionally, you should state that under this section. If if a young graduate who is interested in pursuing say a career in business development or HR and you've attended trainings, workshops, seminars, one, you are not professionally certified now, you don't have work experience, it's very important to note these trainings under this professional training and certification section because if you tell them that okay, this person is really interested in this field and look at what he or she has done to show that interest. It's a trick that helped me when I wanted to start my career in HR. So that was also advice young professionals to also use that trick as well because it works. Now, if you are experienced and you've taken courses, trainings, it's also important that you list them. Now, I want to show us a sample of a poorly written CV. I want to, if we can take a look at this, I don't know if there's way this can be zoomed closer. Um, okay, sorry, it's going to the next one. But if you can see this CV speaks to it has all the red flags, so to say, that I stated earlier. See Daily James, if you look at his address, it's very detailed. If you look at his email address, it's not professional enough. He's saying handsome um, at gmail.com. If you see his CV, if you see this section, it has his date of birth. Now, your your date of birth is not necessary. It's not necessary you put your date of birth on your CV. It's not necessary you include your gender on your CV. It's not necessary you put your state of origin on your CV. Those fields are not important and they do not really speak to your candidacy if you are fit to the job or not. So those information are not necessary. And if you look at this CV, it has all that. And again, another thing I want to highlight from this CV is that how I wish okay, just give me a minute. If you look at the CV, it's not justified. The sentences is not justified. It's kind of all over the place. If you see the work experience section, he said he has worked for Airtel Communication Limited, Sokoto. There is no, he didn't state any say achievements or even if there are no achievements during the 1 year he worked at Airtel, and we could have at least listed some of the responsibilities. At least I do advise for at most 5 bullet points under that work experience section. If you have no achievement, list at least 5 bullet points of responsibilities or roles that you played during your employment um, engagement with Airtel Communications. Even the same thing while he doing his role as a biology teacher at TT Lola Memorial College. So you see personal profile that should be a skill. So if you don't look at this CV, it's not attractive. It's not attractive, and if you were reporting and you have I'm guessing if you put out those a role for say a biology teacher and you have 50 applications and you want to just call on 5 persons for interview, I'm strongly convinced that Jody James won't be among the 5 persons that will make the cut. Can you still hear me? Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, now we are looking at another CV. Now this is for Annie Obi. Um, let me. Okay, this is for Annie Obi. Now, if you look at just looking at this CV alone, you see the arrangement. You see the CV is justified. You see how detailed it is. Look at the list of responsibilities. And if you look at the personal objective, to leverage my experience and skills in the banking industry to contribute to a dynamic financial institution and advance my career as a trusted advisor to clients seeking a challenging role in the commercial and investment banking that provides opportunities for professional growth where I can utilize my knowledge of financial products, risk management and relationship building to drive business results and exceed customer expectations. If you look at the work experience of Annie Obi, her work history, Heritage Bank, Enterprise Bank, Spring Bank, Guardian Experience Bank, Central Bank of Nigeria. So just by looking at it, you know that okay, this person is a banking professional. She's interested in roles in the banking industry. So if you are recruiting for say a bank service manager, a bank manager, a relationship manager in the bank, any bank related role and this person is applied, one, she has the experience, two, her professional objective speaks to that. And if you look at her skills, possesses the ability to analyze financial statements, understand financial products and services, and recommend and give recommendations to clients, solid understanding of risk management, excellent emotional intelligence and customer service skills, understands the features and benefits of different products as it relates to banking and can explain the same to clients, good knowledge of regulatory requirements. Just by looking at our skills and competencies, this person has what it takes to work in the bank. You understand? So and she has the training and certifications that to also attest to that. She has the professional conduct and ethics certification from the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. So if you can compare this with what we saw earlier from Dele James, you see that this Annie Obi is very intentional about her application and the kind of role she's open to working in, which is banking as the sector she's interested in, which is the banking sector. So with this kind of a CV, trust me, if Annie says she wants to go into the market to start looking for banking related jobs, she won't have so much of a problem securing one. So now I want to we are wrapping up. It's been an insightful session so far. Um, so now we're looking at common job application tips. Common job application tips. So before I go on or show this, I just want to know that when it comes to CV writing, less is more. Less is more. There are what recruiters want to see on a CV. If I'm a, I'm an HR practitioner, for example, if I say due to just for interest and knowledge, I take a course on intellectual property law. I take a course on that. I have a certification on intellectual property law. I don't need to include it on my CV because I'm not interested in law. I just took that course because I want to get that knowledge and peradventure and by the sake of that I got the certificate. So I don't need to include it on my CV because my CV is tailored to human resource management. So I can only include um, trainings, certification that are tailored to human resource management. You could just have that if you're on LinkedIn, you could just have that certificate on LinkedIn or have like a general, a border CV where you could just put everything as it relates to your career. But when you want to apply for jobs, you have to take what you know will give you an edge in the job application that you are in the job application, yes, and also help you land the role. Not everything should be on your CV. If you have hobbies, say in digital marketing and all that, but you are not looking to go for a higher, you put for or apply for a job in digital marketing, you don't have to include that training or that course on your CV. It's there, you just leave it, keep it aside. So when you want to use a CV for something digital marketing related, then you can use that. So again, let me just run us through the that's just aside. Let me run us through the common job application tips. Always put a subject before sending out the email. The subject is most times the role you're applying for. Yeah, while you're putting for or while you're applying for a job, um, the subject of your email should be the role you're applying for. Yeah, you're putting for the role of a project manager. The subject of that email should be project manager. Sometimes I know sometimes job adverts do specify what the subject should be like. If it's project manager Lekki or project manager Ibadan, or they will tell you what they want to see. Because while searching or while screening applications, we use the title, the subject of the application to screen applications. That's what we use. If I want to screen for the role of a HR officer, once I go to, if you are using email, I go to the email and I search, I use my keyword HR officer, it will bring out all the applications for HR officer. If you don't have that on your subject, you will miss it out, or they will miss it out, and your application won't be seen. And obviously, if you won't be seen, and that means you won't be invited for an interview. So I've mentioned this before. Ensure you include a cover letter or write up on the body of your email before sending. This way, give more details as to your candidacy. Your CV or your resume should always be either in Microsoft Word or PDF format and easily accessible. Yeah, this is also very key because I have seen applications where I try to open the CV of a candidate to just to take a look at it and see if they are what we are looking for. And some of those CV that are passworded, when you click on it, it starts taking you to, I don't know, a Google Drive and asking for password. And trust me, when I have 50 applications to go through and one application is telling me to put password or directing me to link, it's just to leave it and go to other ones that are readily accessible. So please don't share your CV in Drive. Attach it as a document. Even if you have your CV in your Drive, while sending, attach it as a document. You don't have to send a Drive link to the application so that you won't waste the time. Because trust me, nobody will have time sending you an email or calling you and say your CV is passworded. Please give us the password. I don't think any recruiter will have time to do that. Again, there's another bullet point. Do not forward your resume or CV from previous job applications to the one you are currently applying for. It shows laziness and lack of due diligence on the part of the candidate. Yeah, this is something I've also seen. Some person say they have been applying for a job and they see another job vacancy. What they do, they just forward their previous application to this new one. So and when you look at it, you see the history of other applications because it's a forwarded email. You see the history and you'll be like, this is if somebody is applying for a job like this, tell me how that person will be, he or she is brought on board. So you have to they say getting a job is a job. Getting a job is a job. So you have to do your due diligence when you are in a job application or job hunting stage. Yeah, so due diligence is very key. Cross check your application before sending. Make sure you attach the correct documents, which should be your CV or resume. So this is funny, right? So somebody once applied for a job and the document that the candidate attached was his bank statement. telling you the honest truth, I saw it myself and I didn't, it was so amusing. And when I saw it, I opened the document and what I saw was the candidate bank statement. I was like, what? So that means that you didn't go through his application before sending it, or just have a separate folder where you will name your CV, have it Chima Onunwa's resume, Chima Onunwa's CV. If there are several roles you are interested in, have it so that you won't attach your bank statement instead of your CV when applying for a job. So I think my 40 minutes, I I tried to ensure that I kept to time. So thank you so much for listening. And open for questions um, at the moment. Thank you again. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much for that, Chima. Thank you very much for coming and giving us all of this. I'm sure that some of us do not know some of the tips that we already have in our hands tonight. Like I saw Emmanuel Ikechukwu say that he has already gone to take off the excess details on his CV, and I should do that already. And then less is more. Less is more. In fact, that kept ringing in my ear because um, I know that some people have very detailed CVs. You see some people's CVs and it's running into like 4 pages, 5 pages, and you're so intimidated, like, hey God, oh, what's happening? What have I achieved in my life and all that? Doesn't mean that my CV is not cannot fetch me something good. But less is more is encouraging. But then I have a question. When we say less is more, can you throw more light on that? Because if we say less is more, doesn't mean that I should now go and take off even certain details that are very much important as well. So um, please, can you just throw more light on that point so that we get it, so that we don't miss out on that information. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joy. It's a wonderful question. Um, so I and thank you for asking that question because I won't want anybody to misunderstand um, the phrase. So for someone who have say 5 years of experience, so you could, yeah, you could expect to see a CV, a 2 pager CV, 3 pager, 4 pager CV, say from 4 years, 5 years experience. See, but when I say less is more, is that there are CVs you will see, and under each work experience or work history, the person will list out 10 bullet points of job responsibilities or what they were doing in their previous place of employment. So 10 bullets, routine tasks. So it's not like those 10 bullet points were achievements that stood out for them while they were working at that place. So say for example you were printing papers and you put printing papers there, you were taking notes, you put taking notes in noting. You were, so those are things that you do on a day-to-day basis. So you don't have to include all of them. Trust me, like we have an idea of what you'll be doing as an admin assistant or PA. So you don't have to list all those, just list five just to shorten it. That's why I do advise 5 bullet points per work history is enough. And if uh, like again, some people will have career objective, they'll have it, career objective like we spoke to earlier, they'll have it. You still have professional profile, another one talking about another thing. So it's just so much information. And when when you say less while communicating, it shows confidence. But when someone is verbose, that you are saying so much of, in this instance, when you are writing so many things, it it shows that you don't really know what you are doing. it gives the impression. So once we are precise and concise, straight to the point, it shows confidence. So that's what I'm trying to say when you say less is more. So if you have highlights, achievements, you managed something that you can pick out and speak to, you leave that. And if you don't, just leave the job responsibilities, 5 bullet points at the most. Yeah. Hope I was able to answer your question.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for that explanation. So, if you have any questions, please let's have them in the comment section. If you have any questions, I'm sure you have questions because CV writing is something that we do on we do need to have on a daily basis or on I don't know how to put it on a career basis, on a job basis, or name it. We just need to know it and get it right. And so we have a professional who is willing to give us, insights as to a proper and profitable CV writing. So let's have your questions in the comment section. Yes. So let's see. Okay. Okay, we have a question. Emmanuel is asking, is it okay to just leave older work experiences without details of job descriptions on them? Is it okay to just leave older work experiences without details of job descriptions on them? ETC. That's the question.
Okay. Thank you so much for the question, Emmanuel. And so I would say you should actually put job descriptions. But I said, like I said, leave it at 5 bullet points. Because if you want, trying to imagine a CV with that, maybe just have your name of the organization, your role, and your duration, say from so and so months, and then without um, the responsibilities or what you did during your time there, it's going to look somewhat awkward. So, but I would say you could it's advisable you put those job descriptions. So just leave about 5 bullet points. You don't have to make it so much or so long.
All right. Thank you very much for that explanation. So, Emmanuel, I hope your question has been answered. So, do we have
While,
any other questions? Please let's
while,
have them
while we are
um,
waiting,
because we
while we are
have
waiting,
limited time. Yeah.
while we are waiting for that questions, I just need to just note something again. Please, I you do not use tables on your CV. I see people maybe while writing their work experience section, they put tables, put tables and other. So you don't need to draw tables on your CV. That that presentation is not a mature presentation to give. So just do the write ups. Make sure your fonts are related and are in unison, are uniform. Don't use um, Times New Roman in your career objective section and use sans serif in your work experience section. So just make sure the font you use while starting your CV should be the font you use all through um, the document. And also, it's also important you don't need to also put references on your CV at the start. So because there always a reference section for persons who need references. So it's not you could just say references are available upon request. Just leave it at that. So if you are being engaged further for that role, say you are being called for an interview or at the point of onboarding, then your references will be requested from you by the organization and they'll be reached out to you. So, but in the terms of application, of course, they don't know if they'll call you or not for the job. So there's no need putting your reference on your CV. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I
Welcome.
see Unique is here. Unique, you have something to say? Hello, Unique. Okay. So
Yeah,
okay,
I
we
can
have
hear you.
another. Okay. All right. Welcome.
Yeah,
All right.
it's been a wonderful time, and I am really, 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 really excited.
Okay. Great. So I guess the network is a little disturbing. But we have another question here from Emmanuel as well. He says some people put their picture on their CV. Some people put their picture on their CV. Is that right or wrong? Is it
Okay.
right or wrong to put your picture on your CV?
So thank you again for that question, Emmanuel. So it's not necessary to put your picture on your CV. So you shouldn't put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but for people who put it, is it out of place, completely out of place, or
It's not of place. It's not a deal breaker, anyways. But it's not. It doesn't also help you in any way. So yeah, that's it. So
all
whether
right?
you put it or not, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question. So my question has to do with um career change or career break. How to reflect it. So there was this time when I was looking at. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
All right. So there was this time I was looking at changing or moving from one career path to another, but I didn't have the certificate ready for that path that I wanted to do. So on my CV I was kind of confused, but then I just went ahead and put that CV. I had little experience, or I have little experience in that line. So I just went ahead and then I went for an interview. And the person interviewing me, the HR person, was like, why why the change? Why the switch? And what certification or what trainings do I have to, support the role I was applying for? So how does your CV how should your CV reflect your career change? And then another one is a break, career break. How do you reflect that? Should we lie? Because sometimes we lie. Let's uh, say in 2018, I was working with a firm, and then I think after working for like 2 years, then in 2020, I stopped working. Then I took a break. There was a break in that line for like 6 months. Okay. Then on my CV, how should I reflect it when I'm seeking or get trying to get another job? So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, okay, all right. So for the first question, you said how should your CV reflect that you are switching careers? Okay, so like you got it from the question the HR person asked you, one trainings, webinars you've attended. So because one, it will have dates. So if you are actually looking at switching careers, you would have attended webinars, trainings on that. You should something you should note down and include on your CV. If you have taken courses on that, if you've read books on that new field you hope to get into, um, something you could also highlight on your CV. Um, so if you've done pro bono projects, say maybe you volunteered to work as an officer in that new field you want to venture into for a period, say 6 weeks or 1 month or there what have you. Something you could also highlight on your CV. So that those things shows interest and it shows intention, how you've been intentional about switching. Yeah, so I don't know if I answered the first question.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
so yeah, welcome. So for the second one, so lying is a no-no. That's not even allowed because you would even shoot yourself in the foot when you even lie. So what I would say is, if you are taking a career break, and what you could just do is, okay, one, you've not worked. Let's say, for example, you resigned from your last place, say, let's say December 2022, and from December 2022 up until now, you are not working, and you are attending interviews now till May, and say they ask you why you, why the long break in employment, why the long employment break. So you just try to explain the reason. I mean, we are humans, even HR professionals are humans. So as long as the reason you are giving is legit, so I don't think it's and you and one again you sell yourself very well during the interview. You show that you have what it takes to do the job. So they will always look at they won't that career break or the employment break won't be an issue at all. If they want to consider you or proceed your candidacy to the next stage of the interview, they will actually do that. So just try to explain to them why you had that break. Maybe you needed to attend to someone, you traveled, so that's that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So another question in that line, while we await other questions, another question in that line would be, um, say you've worked in a particular organization for um, a number of years, and yes, you worked in that company, and then you worked as you were using accounts officer. So let me use the accounts officer as an example. And then you started as an accounts officer in that organization, but internally you are being moved from one place to another, right? From one department to another that may not necessarily be in the line of accounting, okay? But you know that it's not your career path. You were just there, you know, just being, well, I say being used by the organization, right, for their random needs at the moment. Or you understand? So, but then when you structure your CV, you're putting, because you want to continue in the line of accounting, right? And then you put say 2018 to 2022. That's 4 years, right? But you know that actually for the 4 years you weren't really doing accounting for the whole of that 4 years. Is it okay to go ahead and present a CV like that? Do you get my point? Is it okay to go ahead and present a CV like that, having accounts officer? You have the experience actually, but it's not for the exact number of years you put, like 4 years. Say you worked for 2 years, and then along the line of the 4 years, you were moved to other not so relevant um, departments. You understand? That
Yes.
not relevant. They are relevant maybe in other fields, but not relevant to accounting field. How do you treat that?
Okay. So I get your question. So it's a nice question actually. So So in one organization, say for example, you were in accounting department and you worked, let's say you worked in the accounts department for 1 year and you were moved to say supply chain or store, and you worked in store for the next 3 years. That is 4 years that made up the 4 years completely together. So what you do, you just you capture it in your CV. So you joined the organization as an account officer, say in August 2018. You work from August 2018 to August 2019 as an account officer. Then in that same organization, you were moved to from August 2019, let's say from September 2019 till date, you are working as a store officer in that same organization. So it's the work history is the organization, but you capture those separate roles under it. So you just capture it as that.
Okay.
Yes. Do I
Okay.
answer, did I
So
answer the question? Yes.
okay.
Go on, please. I want to say something.
Okay. So um say the job title will still be account officer, but then you state the other roles that you
Yes.
played,
Or you
right?
can break it. Yeah,
As bullet points.
you can break it into two. You say for example, Chima and Sons Limited, account officer, August 2018 to August 19. Chima and Sons Limited. Okay, you are starting from the most recent. So you start from the store officer role, who the duration you are working there. Then underneath it, you have the account officer role again, who duration you worked there, all under the same organization. So it's just one organization, two different roles and their duration.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you
So
very much. That was
thank you.
helpful. Um, yeah, so we have another question from the comment section. How do we write a cover letter, and what should be in the cover letter? What should the content of the cover letter be? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doctor. Wonderful question. So a cover letter is just like a more detailed history about um, a professional career or your career history. So how you should write a cover letter, you start from your first job as it relates to the role you're applying for. Write about what you did while you are in that role, in that organization, what you're able to achieve. Then you transition to the next organization, and give also your brief history working in the organization, what you're able to achieve under it as well. You give specifics. Then you summarize it by saying what your experience or yeah, what your experience has been as a so and so professional over the last 10, 15 years of your experience, and the skills that you have and what you are going to bring to this organization if your candidacy is considered. So just about being more detailed, and talking about um, what you intend to achieve if you are given the opportunity to join the organization. I don't know if I answered that question.
All right. Thank you. Um, so, Doc, I hope the question was answered. I hope the question was answered.
Thank you so much, Doc.
All right. So, moving on, we would like to round up. We would like to round up. So, it's been an amazing session. It's been an amazing, amazing, amazing session. Like it for me, it's an eye opener, and it's giving me some insight. And so, but before we wrap up, we want you to give us your closing tips And for me, I would like you to add um, who CV, who a profitable and proper CV writing is for. Because some people are of the opinion that it is for only job seekers. So are business owners um, open to CV writing? Should they have their CVs? Should who and who should
Okay.
get into this art of proper and profitable CV writing? So I want you to wrap up with this clarification and any other tips you have for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you so much, my
Welcome.
other for having me. So, for me, I would say if a business owner, I don't know why you want to use a CV. So, but um, having a CV is just for that person who wants to. So, the basis of our conversation now for today are for those who want to apply for jobs. So that it's totally different for those who want to apply for graduate scholarships, whether they want or semi post. Yeah, so I think
Okay.
basically a CV can be students can use it, job seekers, employees can use it. Um, when they are self-employed, I don't think it will be so much. So that's the thing. And then, so my closing remark would be, if you know that you are in that line of work or your career is one that demands that you always your CV is a very handy tool for you. It's important for you to be strategic about how you use your CV because, like I said, the CV is a tool that opens the door for that job. It's the first and most important thing before you even think of getting in the job or even seeking for the interview. To be strategic about it. When you write, don't just write it anyhow or just submit it anyhow. Because the process it speaks a lot to the candidate. So when your CV is structured, is looking very nice, is presentable, it gives the recruiter an idea of who this person really is. So be strategic, take your time, do not rush to put in applications, and give it, always give whatever you are doing your best. So, and I know that with that, trust me, if you have a good CV and you say you want to change your job, from experience, say 3 months. If you say you want to leave this job now and you have a good CV, it won't take you more than 3 months. You'll land another opportunity, another job. Something I'm saying from experience. So you are sure that your CV will always give you results. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. The art of proper and profitable CV writing. If your CV has not landed you a job, then you should have a look at it again. And
Definitely.
we are privileged to have a professional, yes, here to tell us all of this. And please do well to reach out because Mr. Onunwa uh, has a platform where he um, he does this. I mean, on a professional basis, CV writing and then tutoring and all of that. So it will be nice to reach out to him if you've been having a trouble with getting jobs and you've not been getting it, and it's been months now. So you should have a rethink and take a look at it again. You may be missing out on something. So thank you so much again
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
coming on this show. We truly, truly appreciate you, and would
Pleasure.
we hope to hear from you again. So
Yes.
thank you very
Thank you.
much. Unique,
Thank you,
thank
everyone.
you for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you for yes, Sir Michael Oyaga. I thank you so much, sir, for being here. Thank you everyone who is in the
Okay.
show.
Thank you.
Yes,
Then,
and tonight we call it a wrap. Thank you for being here. For those who are going to be watching this after now, you're welcome from wherever you're watching. God bless you, and bye. Good night,
do enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Good night. Have a wonderful night rest.
and you too.